Good morning, Raptor freaks. Lexi Outs here, and it's Wednesday morning, and the Toronto Tempo are on the road again today in Chicago to play the Chicago Sky. That's right. They've had a few days off, some time to practice, some time to rest, some time to go to a Blue Jays game, some time to walk around downtown Toronto, some time to get on a plane and fly to Chicago yesterday. Yeah, pictures of the Tempo team getting on the plane and getting off the plane and being in Chicago. So let's get right into the preview, the latest lineup news for both teams, Sky and Tempo, and the ref report. I've got the referees for you already. So yeah, let's start with our Tempo team. And this is what we're seeing right now on the injury report. Right now, Temi is out still. As I've said, Temi Fagbenle is unlikely return before the end of May, meaning that she will miss 2 more games at least against the Sky and the Seattle Storm. Her estimated return date is on June the 3rd, but that date has changed and been pushed back. So who knows? It'd be great if Temi could come back and play for the Tempo. We need you, Temi. We need you, Temi. Let's look at Julie Alamone. Julie Alamone is actually questionable for today's game. She could play today. She is not completely out. Julie Alamone is in danger of missing a 5th consecutive contest due to a left groin strain. Kiki Rice would likely remain in the starting lineup if Alamone is ruled out, while Kia Nurse and Laura Yuskati could also continue seeing increased playing time with Julie out. Yeah, I hope Julie's back. I hope that the 12-degree weather was a shock to her system and got her back. Julie Alamone is questionable officially and could be playing today, which we would like to see. We'd like to see all our players healthy. Isabel Harrison is the other one on the list, of course. She is still ruled out till June. Her hand is still healing, and she is not ready to come back today. So she will be out today for sure. And her estimated return is the same as Temi, June the 3rd. So she shouldn't be back for the Seattle Storm game this Saturday either. So those are our injuries, those 3. Temi and Isabel out. Julie Alamone, questionable, could return tonight. And of course, we got to remind everybody that the Tempo waived Mariela Fusula on Sunday. So she is off the team at this point. So yeah, we're running a little. We're playing the Chicago Sky today. And well, they have injuries. They do have injuries. We'll start with the very big one that happened recently that ended the season for their big acquisition last offseason. And that is Rakea Jackson. It tore her ACL, and that's awful. You hate to hear that kind of stuff. She had surgery. Or has she had surgery yet? Yeah, she had surgery, I guess, and she's going to miss the remainder of the season after suffering a torn ACL on Sunday a couple weeks ago. So yeah, Rakea is out for sure. So we won't have to deal with that very good player for them. Also tonight, interesting, just found out that Gabriela Jaquez, the sister of Jaime Jaquez Jr., who's the first-round pick for the Chicago Sky, will not play today, guys. She is officially out for the game against the Tempo today. It's a knee injury for Gabriela. So we will not see first-round pick Gabriela Jaquez, the sister of Jaime Jaquez Jr. of Miami Heat, playing against us today. She is out. She will not be playing. Also out today will be Courtney Vandersloot, who has had a knee injury, and it was possible she could have came back for the game against Toronto, but she has been bumped back to the next game at least. Will be out for sure today against the Tempo. So no Courtney Vandersloot, the veteran, will not be playing today for sure. And then finally, one more injury for this game. Dejane Carrington. She has a foot injury, and she is ruled out today also against the Tempo. Will not be playing. Her estimated return is the next game for the Sky. So those are some key players. Their big acquisition the offseason, Rakea Jackson. their rookie, Gabriella, and then two very important key players for their veterans, Dejounte and Courtney, all out today. So who are the Sky right now? Well, the Sky have been stumbling. In fact, I have some news for you about the Sky in a second. But Camila Cardoza has been holding it down for them as the center. She's somebody we're very much going to need Niara Sabali to be holding down because Cardoza has been their best player so far this season. So we need the tempo to try and contain her. That's easier said than done, right? Because she's a true center. She's big, and we don't really have a lot of bigs on our team. So, Niara, you're going to have to do a lot of work to try and stop Camilla. That's right. They also got Skylar Diggins, Azura Stevens, the Natasha Cloud was added to their team. So, even though Izzy's not playing, her friend Natasha will be. That's right. Elizabeth Williams is another center for them. JC Sheldon, the guard off the bench. Rachel Banham, the sharpshooter. Maddie Westbeld will be back and available for this game. Maddie had missed some time recently for the Sky, but should be available tonight. Aisha Koulibaly is on this team also, and Sydney Taylor. That's the Chicago Sky right now. So, yeah, they're a little beat up. They're a little beat up, and their record isn't so great either. So this is definitely a winnable game for the Toronto Tempo. I've realized so far in this very early Toronto Tempo history that the Tempo have won on Sundays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays, but they have not won on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So it is, what day today is Wednesday. So they have a good chance to win today. If we're going by their record so far as a team, they do well on Sundays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays. And well, it's a Wednesday. So maybe they can win on the road in Chicago tonight. That's right. Let's go look at the refs real quick. This is the referee check signature segment on the Raptor Freak channel for the Raptors and the Tempo. We go look at the refs. We talk about the refs. The referees for tonight in Chicago, crew chief will be Kevin Fahey, number 43. He's refereed one Tempo game so far in their history, and we lost. So 0-1 with the crew chief, Kevin Fahey. The referee will be Catherine Chang, number 35. We have not had Catherine Chang referee a Tempo game yet, so she has a clean slate. And then the umpire will be rookie ref Genesis Perrimon, number 47. We did have Genesis also. I think Genesis actually worked with Kevin Fahey before. So we lost in the game that Genesis refed in the past too. So the Tempo's record with the ref crew tonight, 0-2 for their record so far in their history. So, it's too early. There's not enough data collected to look at any trends or anything. But that is officially the ref report record for tonight's game, 0-2 with the referees refereeing tonight. So Kevin Fahey, Catherine Chang, and Genesis Paramount. Now, this is what I want to talk about real quick about the Chicago Sky and the Toronto Tempo. Well, ESPN's come out with their WNBA power rankings again yesterday, and there's been some movement in it. First of all, the Tempo have stayed pat at number 11. They did not move up or down, and this is what they're saying about the 3 and 4 Toronto Tempo on the ESPN right now. Toronto opened last week well with a 98-90 victory over Phoenix, led behind Brittany Sykes, 31 points, 7 rebounds, and 6 assists. But followed that with losses to Minnesota and Portland. The latter was the first of 3 meetings between the 2026 expansion franchises. The Tempo are relying heavily on their guards. So we'll see whether the post play improves as they get healthier. Niara Sabali, Temi Fagbenle, and Isabel Harrison are all battling injuries. Now, we're number 11 in the ESPN WNBA power rankings, and the Sky are number 13. They dropped from number 4. Number 4. They were number 4 in the power rankings last week, all the way down to 13. They are now 3-3 with their record. And this is what they're saying about Chicago Sky this morning. The early stretch of each season tends to feature some large week-to-week jumps and drops in these power rankings. The Sky fell big time this week after 2 losses at home, 99-89 to Dallas and 85-75 to Minnesota. The best news for Chicago after losing forward Rickea Jackson for the season is the play of center Camila Cardoza, who had a combined 41 points and 18 rebounds while shooting 70% from the field in the 2 games. So it's interesting. They rank them lower than us in the power rankings. We're number 11 and they're number 13. So that means maybe we got a good chance to beat the Chicago Sky tonight. The ESPN power rankings, let's go look at that real quick for the game. Is basically, let's see. No, 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 no. I know that they have Chicago ranked, have the higher percentage. 62% chance that Chicago wins, 38% chance for the Toronto Tempo. So we got a 38% chance, according to the ESPN matchup predictor, for tonight's matchup in the game. Yeah, it's important. It's good to look at the different stuff the ESPN prognosticators are saying, right? They're important. Okay, sure. So they're giving us a 38% chance to win today. And we are number 11 in the WNBA power rankings. I'll take it. I'll take it. Let's do the Toronto Tempo Redditor of the day real fast. Why not? Let's do this. It has to do with this too. It's Ma Lee. Ma Lee, you are the Toronto Tempo Redditor of the day. You've brought us a graphic that is the most points in a WNBA game this season. Who has scored the most? Well, so far this season, the highest point total scored was by Asia Wilson, and that was 45 points versus the Connecticut Sun. Sorry. Kelsey Plum got a 38 drop along with Brittany Sykes getting a 38 drop. So Brittany is tied for number 2 on this list for the second highest score this year with 38 points. Brittany's also in at number 4 with 31 points. And Marina's at number 5 with 30 points. And Ma Lee is saying $1 million backcourt got 3 of the top 10 spots in most points in a WNBA game this season. That's right. She's proud of Slim and Mabry. Fever is the only other team to have more than one of the top 10 scores so far this season, and we secured 3. Yeah, there you go. There you go. And I guess it was Caitlin Clark and Kelsey Mitchell getting 2 different big games. So there you go. I like this. I like this. Tempo have 3 of the biggest performances of scoring in the WNBA this season out of the top 10 so far. Thank you to Ma Lee, the Toronto Tempo Redditor of the day. There you go. Let's go check in with Trevor J real quick. His words of wisdom. The beautiful thing about life that you can always change, grow, and get better. You are not defined by your past. You are not your mistakes. Mistakes are human, not life sentences, not losses, but keep going. There you go. I mean, there's always something to like starting a clean sheet of paper. And when you're writing your life story, there's always something about new beginnings. There's always something about new opportunities. There's always something about redefining yourself or making changes in your life to look for new areas and energy in your life that can revitalize you and rejuvenate you and make you feel more alive. Yeah, that's what life is to experience. And well, you can experience the good and the bad because you don't get the bad with the good. You won't know what the good is. That's part of it right there too. But yeah, you can change, you can grow, you can get better. Thank you, Trevor J, for your words of wisdom. Blessing to the Jones family and all the Raptor Freak families. That's right. Trevor's excited. Happy game day, Tempo. Let's win tonight. I seen Trevor J has been ordering things through the mail. Yeah, he posted something in our Discord server, which is quite impressive. In fact, I'm jelly. I can say I'm jealous. That's right. Trevor J ordered a pair of Tempo Adidas shoes, and they look nice and clean and fresh with the lines, just like the old Run DMC Adidas. My Adidas. They are badass. They've got the Bordeaux purple of the Tempo colors on an Adidas shoe with the official Tempo logos on it. Man, those shoes look like such nice kicks, Trevor J. You'd be running around in Florida wearing those? People gonna look at them and then be like, whoa, where'd you get those shoes? Those look like Kool-Aid shoes. Those look like grape soda shoes. Because that color is grape soda. I know. I love grape soda. And I love the old grape candy when I was a kid. that look the same color as the Tempo's Bordeaux color. Yeah, but Trevor's got these Tempo Adidas now that he's gonna be running around in. My Adidas. Yeah, I love that Run DMC song. I'm the king of rock. There is none higher. Sucker MC call me sire. Let's go. That's right. Trevor, I'm going to give you a dunk for your shoes, my guy. We're giving you a dunk for those cool ass shoes that you ordered and you shared with us in the Discord, man. They were nice. Y'all need to be looking out for the Toronto Tempo Adidas. Seriously. The product alert. Look out. Somebody needs to go get these shoes like Trevor did. Patrick Patterson 54, Trevor. That's what you got. A Pat 54 on the dunk charts for getting your Tempo shoes. Those shoes are badass, Trevor. Seriously. Those shoes are clean. Those shoes are clean. That's what I'm going to say right there. They are clean. They are nice. They're very, very nice. Trevor Jace brought up that last night, Game 5 in the Western Conference Finals, a very pivotal, important Game 5 because it is a pivotal game when you're tied 2-2. Who's going to win Game 5? Well, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Luguentz Dort and the Oklahoma City Thunder will. Yeah, they beat the Spurs last night in the pivotal Game 5. It was kind of not even that close. And wow, yeah, it's a taken commanding lead. Yeah, the Knicks have swept. The Knicks are in the next round. They're waiting. They're awaiting. Yeah, they're annoying. And, well, we want to see one of these teams come up and get the Knicks in the finals and beat their ass. That's right. So get primed up, SGA and the Thunder. Y'all going for a repeat? I'm with you. I'm with you, and why not Lloyd? Yeah, I'm with Scotty's buddy Lloyd. I'm on that OKC bandwagon. That's right. Anything to stop that ugly team from the Big Apple. We can't have them be winning. No. We can't have them be winning. No, we can't. So I'm saying right here, Oklahoma City, let's go. You know, San Antonio, you still got a chance. You're going to try and win the last 2 games? I don't see it. But OKC, let's get that second chip, SGA. Bring it home to Hamilton. That's right. Nah. Are there any Canadians on the New York Knicks? No. So screw that team. We don't root for teams with no Canadians. And I don't care if OG's on that team. I ain't rooting for it, y'all. Seriously, y'all getting all crazy. We got to root for OG to get another championship. Josh Lundberg is saying, what a nice story that OG can be in the championship finals finally and play because he couldn't play when the Raptors got there because of a appendectomy. Oh, what a nice story, Josh Lundberg. But I don't want to hear it. I don't want to see it. I only want OG Anunoby to be a Raptors champion. And him being a Knickerbockers champion ain't right. We don't want it. Trust me. So come on now, Thunder. Strike. That's right, AC/DC. You've been thunderstruck, San Antonio Spurs. And now we got to get you to throw some lightning and thunder at the Knicks in the finals. SGA, Caruso, and Cason Wallace and all y'all. Yeah, we need y'all. We need y'all. Stop this. We cannot have this. People, we got to stop rooting for our Atlantic Division opponents that we hate, our arch enemies. These people are not people we should be like. Some people are celebrating Boston's Joe Mazzulla getting the Coach of the Year yesterday. I'm like, no, why are you doing that? You ain't got no reason to celebrate Coach Joe winning Coach of the Year. Screw that. That's the Celtics. We don't celebrate the Celtics, the Knicks, and the Sixers, Raptors freaks. These are our division opponents. And in some ways, these are our arch enemies. And I don't get it. Look, we can respect them, but you don't need to openly be celebrated and be all positive for them. I'm sorry. These are our enemies. We cannot do this. People that are getting all happy for Coach Joe, you're crazy. They should have gave it to Mitch Johnson. Seriously, Mitch Johnson should have been the Coach of the Year. Seriously, he should have been. That's right. All right, Trevor J wants me to scout a scout of the day. Today he's bringing me a guy named Caleb Wilson. Caleb Wilson. Did we scout him? No, I don't think we did scout him. So let me go look at Caleb Wilson. This is where Raptors Freak stream becomes a reaction channel. You know, like a music reaction channel, like our great friend Played Again Sue, who loves to play the old ditties and the old new songs and goes on about reacting to them. Well, I react to basketball. I react to basketball players. And, well, I haven't watched any college. So let's go ahead and look at Caleb Wilson of North Carolina Tar Heels. Small forward, power forward. He's 19 years old. He's from Atlanta, Georgia. 6'10", 215 pounds, and he looks like a 5-star recruit. So that's pretty good. He comes with a good pedigree there with 5 stars as a recruit. All right, Caleb Wilson. He looks like he's got size and length. Doesn't look like he's got a big body though, as far as his weight. So we'll just have to see how he looks. Caleb Wilson. Caleb Wilson, UNC. Of course, he played with the Estonian guy Virsar in UNC this year. So we'll have to see. Maybe we'll see Virsar in this highlight also. They got his draft workout here. I don't know if I want to watch that. I want to see him playing. Let's see. Where? Give me a short highlight. All these highlights are like 10 minutes long. What is this? All right, here we go. This is Caleb Wilson, 22 points, 7 rebounds, and 5 assists against Notre Dame on January the 21st of this year. All right, I'm watching that highlight real quick. Let's see what it looks like here. I'm sure we'll see Virsar. All right, Caleb down low. Nice little up and under move. So he does some footwork. He's got some post footwork already. I see he gets around the guy, comes up around and up and under him. That guy looked like a horrible defender, though. Let's be honest. Okay, 3-point shot. There's a little bit of a hitch in his 3-point shot. It's not bad. There's a nice vision. He throws it to the weak side with the double on him, finds the open 3-point shooter. That's nice. I like that. Nice vision. There's a pass to VSR. Oh, wait. And VSR misses it, and then there's a follow-up. So Wilson came in and threw it down after him. Cleanup. Yeah, there's some contact. He goes after it, gets after his own shot, miss, and second chance points. He didn't make the second one either, but he got the line, got free throws. So that's a spunky player who's fighting for extra chances. I like that. Here he is with his move again. He loves to go around to the right and come up and under around the side of a guy. He's done that move twice in this play, in this highlight in this game so far. Ooh, nice catch on the inbounds pass by Virsar over his head into the post. He didn't make it though. Once again, he got fouled. So he's getting a foul line. I don't know. I want to see him cleanly make this. There he is, a nice 2-man game with Virsar. Passing it off to him. Let's see. Down the lane, going up and against a bigger defender and elevating and shooting over his head. So athleticism, him being 6'10" and having athleticism, that is attractive. I will say his age and once again, his body is not totally NBA ready. He's definitely going to have to hit the weight room, and he will be weaker than the NBA competition. So it's not like some of this muscling stuff he's doing in college will work at the next level until he hits the weight room. But there's some versatility here. I do like the fact that he's a great passer. I do like the long, lanky body that he has as far as possibilities for shot blocking or maybe even good post hook shots and things like that. But yeah, there he is in transition, throwing it down with the one-handed, right-handed jam. Yeah, he's got some hops too for a guy his size. That's good. 6'10", and he can jump too. That's nasty. There's a little turnaround bank shot. Okay. Let's see here. He's got a little fancy dribble trying to get. Oh, the double comes. He spins away from it. That's smart. I like that. The double is coming. And he spinned away from it. He had the wherewithal. There's another little nice drop off pass for his teammate for an easy layup. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, there's some good passing here. Oh, they're showing Brad Stevens scouting him in the crowd. Screw that, man. What is this, man? We don't need what is this Boston president there looking at that? All right, so Caleb Wilson, not bad. I mean, if Bobby likes him and Bobby picks him, I guess I'll have to trust Bobby. To me, he's definitely a project. That's the thing. He's not like Colin. Colin may be undersized compared to Caleb Wilson. And, but Caleb Wilson's a project. He won't be able to help the Raptors right away next year. He won't be able to help them right away. So I don't know, man. If this is a guy at 19, we want somebody to plug in and play and be a contributor next season right away. And that's kind of what we've been looking for lately. in the draft the last couple years is people that can contribute and possibly play in the rotation the very first year they play for the Raptors. People like Jamal Shed and Jacoby Walter and Grady Dick, even when he first got drafted. So I don't know. I don't know if this guy is actually ready to play in the NBA. He's going to take some time to weight room, but there are some instincts there. They're nice. They really are. Thank you, Trevor J, for the scout of the day. Caleb Wilson of UNC. That's right. Yeah. Let's see. Trevor's saying, I saw some video clips. Hang on. It jumped way ahead. Let me see. Whoa. Where'd my screen go? There it is. All right. Let me see. What is he saying? I saw some video clips of Jacoby working out with Sam. With Sam. Who's Sam? You saw some video clips of Jacoby working out with Sam. Who's Sam? Full name answers, my guy. I don't know who Sam is. All right, let's see. Good game is here. Good morning, G. Original Raptor Freak trivia champion. Kiki is in the Rookie of the Year race. For sure. For sure. I think that in some ways, Julie's injury at the start of the season has given her a spotlight, has given her an opportunity, and she's running with it. She's running with it. And I mean, who are the other candidates? Fudd, uh, uh, Miles. You know, the thing is, like, even Lauren Betts, who's the big, huge center that was on the team with Kiki at UCLA, she's not starting. She's coming off the bench and she's not playing a whole lot. And honestly, she's not looking that good. There's different players from the top 10 picks in the WNBA draft that are not totally starters, and they just kind of play off the bench. That the players that get to start and get feature minutes and get to do stuff are definitely going to be the contenders. And that's why right there, I think G's got it. You know, if there's 4 rookies that are getting high usage, Kiki's one of them, right? Olivia Miles. Yeah. Kiki Rice. Yeah, these are high usage rookies. And in some ways, Kiki, not that she has to make it an individual competition, but you know, next time she plays the Lynx, maybe she should try and outplay Olivia Miles just to look better for the ROTY race. That's right. That's right. Ah, it's interesting. Seymour's here. Good morning to the sheriff, Seymour Pape, the city slicker who moved out west to the province of Alberta, but he still holds it down for the ends of Scarborough and the city of Toronto, even though he's out in the province of Alberta. That's right. Holding it down for us out there. Saying convincing win, SGA and the Thunder. Home got on pace for a back-to-back championship. Yeah, you look at it from Chet's perspective. I'll ignore Chet. To me, Chet getting another championship versus Kat and Jalen Brunson getting a first championship, go ahead and give Chet a second championship. I'm fine with that. Now, I'll overlook Chet. I'll look at SGA, Lou Dort, Hartenstein, Caruso, Jalen Williams, you know, all these other guys. Chet's the only one that I don't really like, but I can get behind all those other guys winning again. Even Brandon Carlson, former Raptor. But yeah, I mean, Seymour's all happy for Thunder going forward. That's right. That's right. Well, I want them to win again at this point. They need to win. We need to stop New York. We need to stop New York. Randolph's here. Good morning to Randolph Phillips. Game day blessings, beloved Raptor Freaks family. Always honor those who have laid the foundation and blazed the trail for us. Respect and show gratitude for their hard work and sacrifice. It's true. There's so much progress and so many things that came about because of the struggle, because of people being in uncomfortable situations and working hard to make things better for the future. And there's a lot of people trying to change that back to ugliness. And part of the way we honor the sacrifice and the foundation for trailblazers that went above and beyond, especially in civil rights, is to keep having those civil rights by fighting for them and protecting the things that they fought for. Because there are people out there right now that will try and rescind things and take it back. And that's not right for people like Martin Luther King, John Lewis, people that struggled and fought hard to get things in equally more for people. But there are people out there that want to destroy equal rights more and more. and to protect the legacy of those people that fought so hard before in the civil rights struggle and stuff like that. We need to keep fighting for our rights. Seriously, we can't get complacent, and we can't get take it for granted, because this stuff is not for granted. There are evil people out there that will go back on their word and take back things that were established that were actually right and just, because they're evil and they're messed up and they're racist and they're cowards and they're all kinds of problems. We can think about the struggles in states like Tennessee and Alabama right now, where the people have to get out in the streets by the tens of thousands because their governments are going dictatorial and trying to run roughshod over equal rights and fair representation. This struggle is never over. In fact, it's been inflamed and started even worse, to be going the wrong situation because of the criminals in the government right now in the United States. And people need to be standing up for their rights more than ever. There is a lot of power in the people. And in some ways, we're seeing that in places like Alabama and Tennessee, even though the government is ugly, racist, and trying to pull people back into mindsets that were like 100 years ago. So yeah, blessings to the Phillips family and all the Raptor Freak families. This is an important thing. This is how you respect and honor that legacy, is you continue to fight it, and you continue to show up, and you continue to do the right things as far as getting the right trouble, the good trouble that John Lewis talked about. That's what I'm saying. They need good trouble down there, especially in states like Alabama and Tennessee, who are trying to take people of color's voice out of government. That's right. That's right. They're actively trying to do that right now, for sure. Seymour Pape saying Castle has earned my respect, battle tested. There you go. Elijah Martin bulked up. Okay. You seen a picture of Elijah Martin? He's looking even more bulkier and bigger. Interesting. Interesting. Yeah. You like Steph Castle. Steph Castle's a dog. Steph Castle's a competitor. Steph Castle's the kind of guy that wants to beat you. Yeah, he's something else. In some ways, I got a lot of respect for Rookie of the Year, Stephon Castle of the San Antonio Spurs. Yeah, yeah, he's a player right there. He is. Yeah. Smooth's here. Good morning to Reggie. Good to see you, Reggie. Per Shams, Cavs keeping Kenny Atkinson as coach. Expected to make big changes to the roster, though. Yeah, that was interesting. I saw that right away. The Cavs announced that they are wanting to keep Coach Atkinson, that he's not the problem. I mean, it'd be kind of weird and goofy if they subbed him out all of a sudden that quickly, you know, because they switched JB Bickerstaff for Kenny Atkinson suddenly a few years ago. And, they let JB have a couple tries before they're like moving on from him. This is the second year of Kenny Atkinson. And, he built off of the first round exit of last year, right? He got to the Eastern Conference Finals. So, if that logic, it makes sense why the Cavs ownership would be like, yeah, we like Kenny. He did great. He got us to the conference finals. That logic, he was successful, right? Even if, the way they went out was really punkish and swept by the Knicks in the Eastern Conference Finals. And James Harden. Yeah, we just say those words. That says enough right there. That maybe the changes the roster though. It's like, okay, you guys got James for half a season. You see what you get you. Y'all want to ship him out already, don't you? Don't you, Cavalier Nation? Yeah, fool's gold. Y'all thought y'all were so big and bad at the trade deadline. We got James Harden. James Harden. Yeah. Okay. You can be happy about that. That's great. Enjoy it. Enjoy it while you do. Enjoy it while you do. Trevor's saying that Jared McCain went off for OKC last night. This is one of the weirdest trades this year. The way that OKC picked up Jared McCain from Philadelphia, it's like so random and weird. It's like, what are you doing, Philadelphia? Y'all are idiots over there. Like, is this something where Paul George just every once in a while has to throw something nice towards the OKC Thunder in a weird, convoluted, sideways way? The whole thing with Kawhi and LA and the Clippers. And now he's in Philly and things are a little too busy in Philly. So Daryl Morey, like an idiot, I guess maybe this is why he got fired, traded Jared McCain to the Thunder in the middle of the season. And it's absolutely uptick in a bonus for the Thunder and helping right now in the playoffs. Absolutely helping them bolster their roster and be more powerful by acquiring Jared McCain from the Sixers for nothing, basically, in the middle of the season this year. Sam Presti is a good GM. And in some ways, I don't know, people trying to help him? Like, seriously. The Clippers help him. Here's SGA. Here's SGA. There you go. Here's Jared McCain, the Philadelphia 76ers. Yeah, bad management. Bad management in LA and Philly. That's for sure. Yeah, we knew they had bad management in Philly. Daryl Morey, the Sixers fans were talking like he was a genius a couple years ago. Daryl Morey is a genius. Well, he's fired. They fired him. You know that. Yeah, Sixers were trying to say, he's a genius. He's a genius. He's more smart than Masai. No, he's not. Daryl Morey's a failure. He was a failure in Houston. He's a failure in Philadelphia, too. And he's been shown the door now. Oh, we got to get you to Philadelphia, Nick. What are you doing? Waste your time in Toronto, bro. You need to come be with me in Philadelphia. Oh, okay. I'll be there, Daryl. I'll just screw up my team, and I'll get down to Philadelphia as soon as I can. Get down there, Nick. Get down there, Nick, and see Daryl get fired. See Daryl get fired. That's right. Reggie's saying this. James Harden will opt out and re-sign with the Cavs on a smaller deal, allowing them roster flexibility in trades. Okay. So you think that he's going to do that? He's going to put himself on a player-friendly deal. He likes Cleveland. He's like, this is the closest I've gotten in years to trying to do this. Yeah, you still got in the way, though, James. Seriously? You're going to do this? All right, we'll just have to see. We'll see what happens next, Drake. Yeah, we'll see what happens next. That's right. Houston and Boston are talking about trading for Jaylen Brown. Boston just disrespects their finals MVP so bad. Seriously. They disrespect Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown is such an activist. Jaylen Brown is political. And in some ways, they try and say, no, we love Jaylen. We want Jaylen here in Boston. On the download, there's weirdness about it, too. Like, no. Why are you guys shopping Jaylen Brown around? That's weird. Why y'all doing that? He was the one who held the shop open this year when Jason was out. Jason Tatum was hurt for the season. Jaylen Brown was holding it down. That's the argument that Stargate's making on the Discord right now, because some people are glazing Joe Mazzulla for winning Coach of the Year. And he's kindly reminding people, well, he did have an all-star, all-NBA player in Jaylen Brown to play this year. In some ways, it's like maybe it showed that Jason Tatum isn't as important to the Boston Celtics. Maybe that's what this year showed. Seriously, because he's the one who wasn't playing, but they want to ship Jaylen Brown out. Okay, make this make sense, Brad Stevens. You're an idiot. In some ways, go ahead, trade Jaylen Brown. I'll be happy for him. I won't have to root for the Celtics through him anymore because I like Jaylen Brown. I think he's a great player. He's like Maxey. He's like the one guy on the team I hate that I can actually root for and like actually really respect and love a lot. Tyrese Maxey, Jaylen Brown. So I was like, go ahead, trade him for Kevin Durant while you're at it and send Kevin to Boston real quick. Why not? Just go ahead and do it. Seriously, let's see Kevin Durant screw up the Celtics next year on the team. We just know KD going to show up and make crap dinner for whatever team he's going to be showing up on. That's right. That's what KD is now. That's right. Stale ass macaroni that's got not enough of the flavor and sauce. It's looking pale, and it's all hard too because it's been dried up for half a day. Yeah, you go ahead and eat that stale ass KD dinner. Yeah, that Kraft dinner. You go ahead, Brad Stevens. You want that on the menu next year for Celtics? The KD dinner. Yeah, and free Jaylen Brown. Send him down there. He'd love to work with Fred. We'll never ever see KD play with Fred then. This is just a dream because Fred VanVleet tore his ACL and couldn't play last season. Yeah, I watched the Fred VanVleet podcast, Unguarded, because Sarge wasn't on it. And I was like, oh, Sarge isn't on this episode. I'll watch it. It was just Fred kicking it with Quez. And it was actually a really good episode. They went on some heavy subjects. Freddie wants to let people know he is aware of what's going on right now in that AI world and how things are changing and what his life is like. He actually said some really interesting things in this latest episode of Unguarded. He talked about what it was like playing on the Raptors with Svi Mihalik. when the Ukraine war broke out. When Russia invaded the Ukraine, Fred went in detail about playing on the Raptors with Svi and his life and his worries about his Ukrainian family back home and having a Ukrainian teammate during that conflict breaking out and him being worried about his family. It's very interesting to hear Fred talk about that on his podcast. He also talked about the tempo. Fred went on about the tempo a bit. He was talking about Toronto. He was saying, I'm so happy for the WNBA. I'm happy that the Comets are coming back to Houston next year. And I'm really excited about the new tempo team in Toronto. And he was asking the producer, Tristan, where the tempo are playing. He thought that they were playing out where 905 play in Mississauga. And Tristan corrected him and said, no, they're playing at the CNE, man, down at Coca-Cola Coliseum, Rico, where the Marlies play. And Fred went, oh, they're playing there? That's lit. That's right down there. That's awesome. That's what Fred's reaction was to Toronto Tempo. Freddie does like the WNBA, and he was going on a bit about the tempo in his new episode, Unguarded, today. That was awesome. It came out a couple of days ago. It came out last week. I finally watched it yesterday. He also divulged this. His mother noticed something about Fred VanVleet's behavior that changed recently. He said, I noticed something about Fred. You know, Fred, I noticed you stopped toking. What? Yeah. You know, Fred talked a little bit about his cannabis use on the recent Unguarded podcast. That, you know, Fred has always been not really an advocate, but he's been a user of cannabis. And, you know, him being out for this year, he had to watch his usage and he cut down. And actually, he's not smoking right now. And his mom, Miss Danforth, Sue Danforth, noticed around Mother's Day that Freddie was not partaking as often as he was before. And she's like, I noticed you cut down on your token. And he's like, I guess I just wanted to change or something like that is what he's saying. So he said he's not above it. He'll still do it. It's not like he's quit it forever. It's just he's cut down. So yeah, there's all kinds of interesting stuff on Fred's podcast because he kicks it in a real way. And they really do talk so openly about so many subjects. And Fred talks a lot about giving a crap about social media and what people say a lot on this channel, on this show, this one. Yeah, it's really, really interesting stuff. I cannot recommend more Unguarded with Fred VanVleet for Raptors fans to learn more about the Raptors because he does tell stories about playing for the Raptors on the show all the time. And with Sarge not in the picture, because it seems like maybe Sarge got kicked out because he wasn't needed for this episode. Seriously, I told Fred that. I was like, you don't need Sarge to host the show. You and Quez are more natural and better back and forth than that guy interjecting and putting his 2 cents in the middle of places. Plus, he's a shit disturber. And he's only going to hurt you, Fred, is what I told him. And I think he listened to me. I think he heard that and it ate at his brain. He's like, man, he's right. Sarge is an asshole. Sarge is coming at me about my championship in disrespectful ways. He's not respecting Toronto or the Raptors fans. And in some ways, this is a huge percentage of my fan base and people that ride with me. And in some ways, this ain't right that this dude is alienating a big, huge part of my fan base. And I think that that's part of the reason why Sarge is not on this latest episode because he's just a shit. He's just not the right person for Fred to have on his show. Just trust me. I've been telling him that. There's an interesting story about Pascal Siakam this week. Speaking of another former Raptor that we revere on this channel and think of as one of the greatest Raptors of all time. Siakam was the grand marshal of the Indianapolis 500 parade, not of the race, but of the parade. And he was pulling up to get parking at the event this past weekend. And there's an old lady in the parking lot who's charging parking. And it's $10 parking. And Siakam pulls up, and the lady's like, $10, please. And Siakam says to her, and once again, the clips that Siakam puts out from being on the Pacers and being around Indiana, some of them are cringe because they are borderline racism. Seriously, this is Siakam, the man from Cameroon, our great beloved one from Toronto and the Raptors and win a championship. Sometimes he is out and filming stuff where he's interacting with the public, and well, we see shady ass behavior. Let's just put it that way by white Indiana people. And well, he pulls up and she's like, "Oh, $10, please, for the parking." And Siakam goes, "I'm the grand marshal of the parade for the race." And she's like, "No, you're not. You are not. Caitlin Clark is. Caitlin Clark is." And Siakam's like laughing. He's like, "Oh, come on, you gonna give me free parking or not? I'm the grand marshal of the parade." He's just like, "Caitlin Clark is the grand marshal. Let me look this up." He's like, "Look, I'm the grand marshal of the parade. She's the grand marshal of the race. These are two different things. There's a parade before the race, and Siakam's riding in the car, waving to everybody. Hi, I'm Pascal Siakam, Indiana Pacers." And this lady don't believe him. First of all, why don't you recognize Pascal Siakam, old lady in the parking lot? You're all about Caitlin Clark, though. "Oh, no, it's Caitlin Clark. How dare this black man say that he is the grand marshal of the parade when it's Caitlin Clark, obviously." Well, she looked it up, and he was right. And she's like, "Oh," and she had to eat her words. And then all of a sudden, she turned around and she's like, "Oh, okay, I'll let you park for free." You know what he did? He dropped the 100 spot on her after that. He said, "I don't have any change. I don't have $10. Here's a bill, $100 bill instead." And she's like, "Oh my gosh, no, don't worry. I don't want your money now. I don't want your money." "No, you take it." "Yeah, you know what? I could say a couple things." And she's like, "Oh my gosh, goodness gracious. How nice of you." Because it was her yard, right? Across the street from the place. It's her place, her property. And she's letting people park in it to go to the race stuff. But still, how awkward is that? Seriously. Indiana, you can show your racist vibes just in general down homie interactions where it really isn't overt, but it's very underlying. And Siakam's um, little stories and things that he does while he's out in public in Indianapolis is kind of funny sometimes because you see this shit sometimes with him. He's so above it. He's just like, "Ah, man, whatever. I'm Siakam, bro. I'm fine, you know." But yeah, he went and did the grand marshaling, and he did pay for his parking. He did, and he's not Caitlin Clark. Okay. I did talk about that. I mean, I was thinking about that for a couple of days. It was like, because I saw this clip this weekend, and I'm like, man, what is wrong with Indiana? Seriously, this man is the dude who made the Pacers good again. So come on now, give him his respect. Seriously, give him his respect. Let's see. Seymour saying this: Wemby is dirty, and if you like him, you probably are a dirty person too, man. Told Bismack and Plumlee too. Injured McCain. F you, alien. See, look at this. This is as bad at the alien, the Buddhist monk, the great Victor Wembanyama. Bro, how can he be dirty? Seriously, you think he told them to do that? They don't need people to tell them to do that. You think Mason Plumlee's ever had to have somebody tell them to go be a goon and hit somebody? You know who probably told him to do that was Kelly Olynyk. You know, it's probably our Canadian guy, Kelly, who's probably more likely, yeah, go hit him now. Wemby's not like that. You know that. Come on. Wemby's in the monastery with the monks, shaving his head and meditating. Wemby's at Central Park playing chess with ordinary citizens. Wemby is a good young man from France who's an alien. In some ways, come on now. You know he didn't tell them to do that. That was Plumlee on his own. Plumlee don't need no direction to do that. And, you know, Bismack's just a strong guy. You know, Bismack will cause injury just from like bumping into you. He's just like that. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, come on now. Don't be coming at the alien like that. We're going to make this a Chet versus alien thing here. All right. We're going to stand on different sides then. Really good job by Justin's brother, Julian, hitting threes yesterday. That was pretty cool. That's pretty. Seymour has to say something about it. He's calling me. All right, Sheriff, you're on the call. 4 quarters with Seymour Pape. Let's go.
Lex.
Yeah.
Did you watch the game?
No, I didn't watch the game.
Okay. All right. So if you go to YouTube and type in Victor whispers in Plumlee and Bismack's ear, and literally before he got subbed
off. All right, let me go look at it.
Both of them and whispered in both of their ears, "Take out McCain." He literally said it, and they both did it. Dirty player. We don't need that in the game. I'm sorry. We don't need, like, if that's the case, we might as well honor a Sarr and a Men Thompson if that's the levels that we're stooping to. Like,
all right.
that's
So
what's hard.
this is what people are saying right here. All right, I'm trying to look at it. All right, some people are making a big deal out of it on a couple of sports channels, bigger than they are. All right, listen, this is the playoffs. Are you going to be a wuss about this, Seymour? This is the playoffs, and it's like, look, there's people doing this in New York. There's people doing this on Cavs. There's people doing this on all the teams. So what do you expect this? And it wasn't even.
I'll give you that. I'll give you that. It's playoffs. But what I'm referring to is the fact that you were just taking up for him, saying he's the good monk boy and didn't.
He is.
He clearly did it. He whispered in those guys' ears and told them to take.
How do you know what they said? How do you know? You're going by speculation from people like me that are online that we don't know what we're talking about.
All right. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt.
I would say this is like, I would say this. Who knows? Victor could have been saying something about a play. He could have been saying something like, maybe he said something like, he was like, man, he just tried to hurt me. And maybe Plumlee decided, oh, he tried to hurt Victor or so. I don't know. I can't say for sure, but you can't either. I would only say it's like, look, I would say this. Mason Plumlee is a known goon. We know this.
Right.
We know this. And in some ways,
I would throw Bismack in there too.
Bismack, I don't know if I call him a goon. I'd call him a limited big man that has a lot of strength, that kind of does like big man stuff. And some of that does have to do with fouling. I would say that. But we know Plumlee's a goon. We know he's a goon. We know he's
the reason why I put Bismack in that is sort of like what you just said. He has the strength and capability to be a goon. That's not a person I would want to push around.
It's like Surge for us. It's like Surge for us in the championship run. It's like he's kind of like an enforcer. He's a dude who's got a lot of muscle in certain ways. But there's guys like this that are on Oklahoma City too. I mean, the second Jalen Williams is basically like this off the bench, right? Yeah.
To me, I get it. It's playoffs and everything, but we just don't need people getting hurt.
I agree with that. Yeah. I agree.
I don't like the dirtiness of the game. It's just not professional. It's good to keep it professional. They're all making good money.
Listen,
living a great life.
Your team won. Your team won. You should be riding high. You should be like, you know what? They tried dirty shit and we still beat your ass. That's what you should be saying.
Yeah. We're going to take them out. And I think it's good for the game that OKC wins and keeps their team the same. The reason why I say that is because if they lose, their off-season plan has already been leaked because they have so much resources of draft picks and talent that they can move to better their squad. So I don't want their team getting better. I'd rather it stay where it's at so that the league can catch up to them. You know what I mean? And another thing, too, I'm going in with that Jaylen Brown thing. Jaylen Brown has to go. And I'll explain to you. You're going to agree.
Yeah, go ahead. I want to hear it.
Jaylen Brown has to go. The reason why is Boston is a team. That is not an organization you go there and build or you get better. No, that's a team. That's one of those teams that never had names on the back of the jersey because the team comes first.
Right.
Now, Jaylen Brown came out and said this season was his best season he's ever had.
Yeah. I remember hearing him say that.
Why he said that is because the ball was in his hand and he was the number one option for the season. Now, Boston doesn't like that because this is the shortest they've ever gone in the playoffs. They've never gone down the first round and all that stuff. So with a guy who won a championship
and was the finals MVP, and he says that this season's his best.
Yeah, you got to go, bro, because it's not about you. It's a team sport.
Yeah.
It's not about you. So he has to go, right? And another thing, I would say Raptors related, I sort of see that with Brandon Ingram, and I'm going to make my point on this. I believe when he came into the season, his goal, he had his check mark of his boxes, his goal was to make the playoffs. He just wanted a taste of the playoffs with this Raptors team. He got there, and then he packed his bag and said, you know, I'm not going to say he packed his bag, but it seemed like he lost interest. It's sort of like, you know what, I've checked all my boxes for this season, and I'm good. I'm a capable player of being in the league. That's just what I picked up. You know, I don't. I would like to hear what you have to say on it. But I would think like in the season compared to what I've seen in the playoffs, two different people.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I think that, all right, with Brandon in particular, and we talked about this a lot on the Discord with Stillman. Stillman kept saying the last month of the season that Brandon is tired. Brandon's kind of used all the gas in his tank because he hadn't played last season, and he was really good about playing all year. So I think it's true that at a certain point in the season this year and into the playoffs, Brandon kind of was out of gas because he really had a goal to be as healthy for the whole season. And that at a certain point he was worn down by the time playoffs came, and he was hurt. And we know he was legitimately hurt because after the season he had a surgery and he's in a boot, like he's in a cast on a scooter immediately after the season. So there's no question that Brandon was hurt. He was definitely hurt. And Emmanuel, same thing. All right, there's so much you layered with that. I want to hit each one. We're gonna go to each spot. All right, starting with your first point, we'll do all four quarters right in a row. For your first point, I think Victor versus Chet is healthy for the league. It's really good. And even if there's kind of bad guy stuff going on and this and that back and forth, this is going to be fantastic for the years to come. All right, Jaylen Brown. The thing about Jaylen Brown is he's been doing what Draymond does. He gets online and he analyzes games after he plays in them. And he had some very nice things to say about Scotty Barnes this year because of that. He's been saying a lot of stuff, and this is dangerous. This is part of the new world with the NBA and social media and players being very open about their opinions about things. And I think that he may have said something that is obviously being blown really big into a bigger thing about his season this year. And I mean, I don't fault him for this. In some ways, maybe this is some sort of weird, crazy statement to make that's like, okay, you're saying you play better without Jason Tatum. I mean, this is something that's been a storyline in Boston for a long time already, right? Can Jason and Jaylen play together? And I mean, I'm going to take it from Brown's perspective and not from the Celtics organization's perspective, because I'm not with them. I don't fuck with them. I fuck with Jaylen Brown. And I'm going to say, yeah, you guys want to let him go somewhere. That's great. But I don't think he has to go. I think that if they did do that, that may be bad for them, honestly, for their team, not for Jaylen Brown, because Jaylen Brown can go somewhere else and maybe actually get the things that he wants, like as far as like playing as a singular main guy. Like, what if they traded him straight up for Kevin Durant?
No, Houston's package is Sengun, Jabari Smith, Easton, and a first-round draft pick.
Oh, really? That's the one they're saying? They're going to send Sengun to Boston?
Yeah, they want Sengun now and Jabari, because remember, they want KD. They want KD in Houston, and who does he go at?
That's not what I think is true, though. I don't think Kevin wants to be in Houston himself. I think he already burned his bridge there. And there's a lot of speculation that he's not going to be with the Rockets this year. So that the two loose ends is basically you got to trade KD for Brown. Because I even though Sengun has had his faults, even though Sengun has had some issues, the way Fred talks about Alperen on his podcast and the way he talks about the Rockets is a window to things too, because he's coming back next year and he's expecting to be playing with Alperen Sengun. So
who do you think pairs better with Fred though? Because do you think it's a better matchup with him and KD on the floor, or him and Sengun?
Well, forget Sengun. Sengun's a good matchup for Fred because he's his own personal project. Like, he really wants to make Alperen very good. Like, he talks about it. He talks about it very openly. He says, we've been working with Sengun, and he's like, as soon as I showed up, I started showing him certain things. And he's like my prize student is what he talks about him like. Like, he's really trying to get him off the mud. And maybe part of the problem Sengun had this year was Fred's absence. We can talk about the chemistry between Pirtle and Quickly. There's definitely a chemistry between Sengun and Van Vliet. And, you know, the way that Kevin sat out at the end of the season in the playoffs was not right, because I don't think he was that hurt. And I think that he was actually faking an injury not to have to play with his teammates in the Rockets. And I think that he's at a point where he kind of burned his welcome in 1 year in Houston already, because a lot of the overtures are that he pieced out on the Rockets early and that he doesn't care about that team at all. And there's a lot of people saying that he's going to be moved this summer already. That's what I've been hearing.
He pretty much put on every team's jersey almost.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. We can talk about James Harden declaring, I want to be off this team for how many years in different places, and his story and what the pattern is. And we can say the same thing. Kevin's got a similar kind of weird pattern now with switching teams and not going anywhere with things. So, I mean, who's to know? Like, if Fred had been healthy and Kevin had been playing with Fred, this year could have been totally different for Houston. Completely different. Fred VanVleet is so essential to their team. He really is.
Yeah, they wouldn't have met our Lakers in the first round. You know, it would have been a totally different season for them for sure.
They wouldn't have flubbed a bunch of games this season in the regular season because their core was so young and didn't know what they were doing late game situations.
Interesting points there.
Yeah, but that's the way I look at it with those couple of I love your love for the Thunder right now. I really do. I appreciate you being a Holmgren fan, and that kind of that juxtaposition with me. I think it's healthy and I think it's fun. If I talk about Chet and Mandarin, I hope you don't get too mad. It's all from a good place in my heart because I do want to see him bulk up.
There was a play yesterday. I thought he was going to get injured when Keldon Johnson, because he's pretty strong.
Yeah.
He took him right to the net and just dipped his shoulder, and Chet was in like the third row of the. It was. I'm like, geez, man. Yeah, you definitely got to bulk up, man. But
I gave him some points for doing How Hungry Are You? I thought that he came off very, very cool in that Serge Ibaka episode that came out like recently with him on it. Although he didn't eat the chicken's feet. And he barely drank that Cricket's tea. So he was a little bit of a wussy about taking the drink and food and drink that Serge was offering. But
Serge probably told me he'd gain some weight if he drank this.
Yeah, you should have told him that. He's like, man, you eat a little bit of this. Maybe you will get a little bit more on you. Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
I love it, though. Seriously, get that finals appearance. Beat the Knicks. That's what I want, man. So bad.
Yeah, my little brother's a big Knicks. Like I said, like I grew up before Raptors were even a league. I was a Pacers fan. My older bro was a Bulls fan, and my younger bro was a Knicks fan. So anytime we heard that,
yeah, man, the NBA on NBC. Yeah, man.
He still got the John Starks haircut and everything. He's a big John. That's his guy.
So you were Reggie.
My little brother loved Starks.
So you were Reggie.
Yeah, I was Reggie.
Those were, I mean, that late 90s, woo-wee, the NBA, like with Jordan versus Miller and Starks versus Miller and Spike Lee versus Miller.
Yeah. Like when the Bulls won and my brother was jumping in the living room talking about, we won. I'm looking at him like, you don't live in Chicago. We're talking about we won.
Yes. It's awesome. I mean, I love that. I mean, that's something like Scotty told us once on Twitch, Scotty Barnes. He said, I chose to be the Ravens fan just because my brother was a Steelers fan. Like he totally picked Baltimore as his favorite team only to spite his brother.
Household rivalry.
That's right. Yeah. And it sounds like y'all had that going on too.
Oh yeah. It gets pretty crazy.
So you were happy about Halliburton beating Brunson last year in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Oh, for sure. Because that's my second team.
Yeah. All right. Well, I love that, man. I love that. All right. I feel like we did 4 quarters in a roundabout way. But anything else you want to say? Have you caught any Calgary surge yet?
No, I haven't. I've just been so busy with financial stuff, the bank. I'm in wars with CRA, all types of stuff.
Yikes.
There's weird stuff going on. It's like I'm on a seesaw. One second it's down news, and then I'm getting hit with credit cards for this and that, and it's going up. And well, it's good. I'm on the upside right now. You know, I'm on the upside.
Just like the teams, never too up, never too down. That middle path, that middle energy. Stay grounded to it so you can ride those waves in a wise, sage way. I know you're doing it already. I know you are.
And I got one question before I go.
Sure.
Who do you think is going to have the greatest impact for the Raptors for next season? Like, who are you looking forward to see the biggest improvement from the summer?
Well, it'd be real easy for me to just say I want to see Scotty Barnes do what he did in the playoffs every game next season. If he does that, that will be it. But you know, I think that Colin has a real jump that he can make next season off of what he did in the playoffs too. So either one of those two is what I would say right there. Either one of those two. Obviously.
You see what the guy said? Because they got Dallas at the 9th pick, so he's looking for another CMB type player at 9.
Yeah.
For Dallas right now, which is pretty interesting.
Yeah, I'll be curious to see what Bobby does with 19, and hopefully we can get a good player that's ready to play for us right away. That'd be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. It looks like Stargate was trying to call in. I don't know if I could have done a three-way call, but in some ways we'll just skip. No, I don't think he's coming to cuss you out. Yeah, I hope not. Either way, I appreciate your call, and I appreciate that. You know, we can find. You know what? Maybe you're right. Maybe Victor did whisper that.
But it's all good. Like you said, you know what? You changed my perspective when you said it's playoffs, though. It's playoffs. And
I know.
Damn, you're sort of right.
It'd be one thing, but they shouldn't be doing dirty, cheap shots. I mean, once again, do you get mad at the messenger or the guy who called the hit or the hit man? I don't know. You can go over to the Hart Ranch and find Bret Hart and say, who's at fault? The hit man, Bret Hart, the hit man, Mason Plumlee? I don't know.
And they don't. OKC doesn't have the size to go throwing balls with nobody. They really don't. Like, they don't even have, like, Hartenstein and the other Williams guy. They're so underweight when it comes to Bismack, Plumlee, and Olenek. Like, the Spurs got a lot of weight and size over there.
I feel like they did that to compensate for Wemby.
Yep.
And in some ways, maybe that's what OKC's build to, like, get an extra guy next year. You know, who knows? Maybe Mason Plumlee will switch jerseys in the offseason.
Yeah, we'll see.
All right, Seymour. Only love to my guy out west holding it down in the province of Alberta for us. And I wish you luck in all the things that you are up against right now. I wish you all the best of luck and all the best outcomes.
Yeah, for sure. Yo, Stargate, call back. I want to hear what you got to say.
Yeah.
Have a great day.
Whoa. All right. Yeah, Stargate, please call back. We will definitely take another call. I'm sorry that I was already still on the other call there. That's right. Let's see what else we're talking about here. I love the comments here. Reggie's saying Jaylen Brown. Houston wants him badly. All right, here we go. It's coming right back in. All right, let me get this one. No. Hang on. All right, it's the man who beat the machine, Mr. Stargate. Good morning, sir.
Hey, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, perfectly. Crystal clear.
Perfect. All right. I just want to chime in on those two topics that you guys were talking about.
Sure.
First, the Wemby topic. You know what? While I do agree that, you know, you got to keep it professional and I don't like seeing players hurt and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, this is not anything new. We have seen this. Old school people like me and you, we've seen this. We know the Mo Lucases and the Bill Lambiers and the Rick Mahorns and the
Dennis Rodmans.
Rays. We know these guys, right? These, you know, people would go in and they say, hey, you know, take out this guy's leg or hit this guy in the ribs, you know, and like we know, like this is nothing new.
Max Strus headbutt.
Yeah. Man, I didn't want to hear about that. You know,
yeah,
like, you know, but still, I mean, I'm talking about old school. You know, like these guys used to play rough, man. You know what I mean? But I do agree, we don't want to see any players hurt.
No. Because we want to see the best of both the teams against each other. We don't want any excuses from fan nation say, well, we didn't have this person. We didn't have this person. We want to see the best of the best against each other so that it is exactly the best.
And, you know, for these players' careers, they work very hard. You know, I don't like to see players hurt.
No.
Right? I don't. You know, like these guys work very hard to get where they are. And, you know.
Especially if it is like something that looks very intentional.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know? So that's what I got to say on that.
Okay.
On the Jaylen Brown thing, though.
Yeah.
You know what? I don't have a problem with what Jaylen Brown said. Now, Jaylen Brown is a very, 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 very intelligent man.
Mm-hmm.
He knows exactly what he's saying and why he's saying it. We might not realize why he's saying it and the way he said it, but there's a method to his madness. He's saying it for a particular
You know what? You
reason.
just inspired me. What if this is what he meant? It's not about personal accolades. It's not about him winning a championship and being finals MVP the year that they won a couple years ago.
Exactly.
what if it's about him personally in his journey as a player, saying that I grew to new lengths partly because Tatum was absent and I had to do more as the guy. And in some ways, I feel like that's part of why this is my best season, is because I grew as a player without him next to me.
That is one of the things, but I personally think he wants out of Boston. I don't think Boston has ever really appreciated Jaylen Brown.
That's probably true.
I don't think they like him. I don't think they really like him in Boston. All this season, I can't remember. I could be wrong, but were there any quote unquote MVP chance for him?
I don't know.
While he was on the thing, but I know they used to do it for Jason Tatum, though. I know that because I heard them do it for Jason Tatum, right? So just because of the type of person he is, and we know the type of city that that Boston is.
Yeah.
And because he's very, very outspoken.
Yeah.
He's
very political.
Very political.
And that it's outspoken. Not that doesn't just get him in trouble with the Celtics. That gets him in trouble with NBA head office.
Exactly. And we know the Celtics and the NBA office. That the Celtics is the darling of the NBA.
It's one of them. Yep.
Yeah, one of them, like the Knicks.
I mean, I could see it. Like, Jaylen's been on Boston for so long, and I want to make note of this first. So I know that there's Celtics fans that absolutely adore him and absolutely are Jaylen Brown guys over Jason Tatum guys. And but I get what you're saying. Like, in some ways, maybe it's partly the personality of Tatum versus the personality of Brown, and maybe that the NBA has definitely catered to promoting Jason Tatum way more than Jaylen Brown. And in some ways, that can be something where you're in the shadow and you're kind of like, I've been next to this guy my whole career. What could it be like in other ways? And is the grass greener away from the green of the Celtics?
Man, I'm telling you, Jason, what's his name? Brown, right?
Yeah.
Jaylen Brown. I remember, you probably remember this. One time the Raptors were playing Boston, and I think Kyle Lowry may have fouled him and kind of fouled him hard, and he kind of got up and was, wanted to try and, do something to Kyle. I don't know if you remember that game. Right? It was like his second year or something, right? And he got up and he was like, he balled his fist and like wanted to hit Kyle, and then Kyle looked back at him and was like, "What are you doing?" I remember that. I don't know if you remember that.
I don't remember it specifically, no, but it sounds like something that could happen. Yeah.
I remember that. It was like Jaylen Brown's second year or something. He was still young.
Mm-hmm.
He might even have been a rookie. But,
interesting.
I remember that. And I remember Kyle coming back and saying, Jaylen Brown actually came up to me after the game and apologized.
Yeah.
And that was when I realized, okay.
It's a good guy. The thing is, he's extremely smart, right?
Right.
Like, he's extremely smart. Like, I remember hearing stuff about him in school in Atlanta, because he grew up in Atlanta, and his teachers hated him. He was like too smart for his own good. And he was very good student, but he was also a shit disturber and somebody who would like challenge authority. And like in his classes, if the teacher was teaching something and he was like, no, that's bullshit, he would call them out in the middle of class and he would get in trouble for this. And in fact, his teachers really didn't have a very high opinion of him. In fact, a lot of his teachers when he was coming up were like, this guy's going to go nowhere. He's just a troublemaker. He's going to go nowhere. Not realizing the whole basketball side of him and what he was going to do like as an NBA player. But that says something about him there too, is like, he's an authentic dude who speaks his truth, even if it's uncomfortable for those people around him.
You see, guys like him and Kyrie Irving are very well read. And I'm going to say this, and it's going to rub people the wrong way. A lot of the dominant society, right, do not like when black men are well read. They don't like it, right? When they study.
Yeah.
Because I know he studies a lot of the people that I study.
Yeah.
He studied the Dr. Francis Cresswell Sings and the John Hendrick Clarks and the Dr. Benz. I know that because I've seen him on podcasts talking about these people. Kyrie as well, and Fred as well too, believe it or not.
Yeah. No, he brought it up on the latest Unguarded. He said that Jay-Z got him to read the Celestine Prophecy.
Celestine Prophecies. I read that book.
Yeah, he's been getting into more stuff because of podcasts he's been listening to. Like he listens to one about CEOs, and
Yep.
he found out about some stuff from there, and he's getting into more like cerebral kind of like self-help and thinking about being more self-fulfilled kind of like
But the thing I'm
material.
talking about, the people I'm talking about are more,
Yeah. They're more
black
about
empowerment, right?
racial disparity and
Right. Yeah.
structures of
Oh, okay.
racism in society that are installed.
Yeah. Dr. Yeah, Francis Cresswell
Yeah.
saying, and Dr. Neely Fuller and these people. Yeah. So I don't believe that. I believe Jaylen Brown knows exactly what he's doing. I don't have a problem with what he said. I
Yeah.
believe he said it for a reason.
Yeah.
And
I would say this
I
too.
agree with Seymour though. I think he's out, and I think it may be a good thing that
I
he's out.
think I think in some ways though what he said is not really that bad. I don't think it. I think if people are gonna make a big molehill into a mountain here, then you know what, you may not like what happens. I think that
Right.
if Celtics Nation and Celtics organization can gloss over it and continue to go forward with Jason and Jalen, this is not the worst thing in the world. But we'll see. Maybe this is what you guys are saying, and that he has to go. But in some ways, I mean, players say stupid shit all the time, and they continue with their teams all the time, you know. And I don't think this was stupid what he said. I
No,
just,
it wasn't.
I just think, I think that what Miles Turner said was stupid. I think what he said was stupid about
Man,
Giannis.
Miles Turner wants to go back to Indiana. It's so
Yeah.
obvious. It's
So
so obvious that this guy wants to go back to
Stargate,
Indiana.
just real quick, while I've got you on the phone, it's just to mix it up a little bit. How are you feeling about tonight's game with ChicagoSky in the Tempo?
Like I said in the Discord, the first time I watched a full game,
Yeah.
because I've been getting things, was the last game.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
That's the first time I watched it from beginning to end, and I actually saw some stuff. I haven't watched the ChicagoSky play, so I don't know what type of team they are.
Yeah.
But in terms of all girls, they just need to. They just need to. Excuse me. Sorry. They just need to. They need to fine tune a few things.
They need to just kind of get more time.
Yeah, that's all.
I think that's part of it.
They need their big ladies back. I mean,
Yeah,
the can't
for
continue
sure.
like this. It can't work like this.
They got to be able to figure out the pick and roll because
I kind of feel sorry for what's her name, Sabali.
Okay, yeah.
I think she's playing out of position, and they put her in positions that are kind of tough for her. I don't think she's good at guarding center. She's not a very good center. She's a good power forward, but I don't think she's really working at the center position. It's a little different.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if we have a true center on our team, which sucks.
You're right.
Which is too bad. But eventually, hopefully, Monica Wright Rogers will find a good pivot, a good real center. Although, I mean, I think Niara's doing okay, but you're right. I think she'd be better at 4.
They're all trying. They're all trying. They're playing their asses off.
Yeah.
Right. They're all trying.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't see any of them being lazy or anything. But
to me, I want to see how they are with 3 days off coming back after so many games in a row and having a rest period. Let's see if they're refreshed tonight and they're like really taking it to Chicago in the right kind of way.
Yeah, I mean, the girls are trying. I mean, I like the team. It's just that there's some tweaking, and we know that this is just the inaugural season, and we know that there's going to be some changes. There's going to be some people brought in, some people will be taken out.
Yep.
I mean, so let's just wait and see, man.
Did you see? Did you see Kiki at the Blue Jays game?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah,
I did.
She looked like she really enjoyed doing that. Like, I think in the interview with Lindsay, she was saying that this was been like a dream being on the Tempo so far, and that Toronto's just been so amazing.
Here's the problem I have with that, and I'm not trying to play devil's advocate or anything like that. Here's the issue. I see the Tempo PR team is really, really, really pushing Kiki, right?
Yeah.
Really, really, really. And I'm wondering, I mean, you brought it up the other day with what's her name there? We're talking about the how cold it was.
Oh,
and stuff
Julie.
Like that. Julie, right? She's injured, and right now she's supposed to be the starting point guard, right?
It's ambiguous. I mean, to be honest, Julie Alamon was the backup for the Sparks last year, and she was getting a chance to start here, but that doesn't mean she's going to be the starter.
Oh, okay. Just checking, because I mean, right now I wouldn't replace Kiki in the starting lineup right now the way she's playing.
I'm with you. I'm absolutely with you on this, especially since Julie was not aggressive to score herself. It's like if she wants to be a playmaker and a tempo setter off the bench as far as defense and kind of running things, that's the role she had last year in LA. So I could see that. I look at it this way: Kiki Rice is Damon Stoudemire. She is the face of the team with veterans that are on the team already, like Carlos Rogers and Oliver Miller. But Damon was the face of the team in some ways, and that's why she's the one, as the rookie, is at the Blue Jays game throwing that pitch. Her pitch was really good too. She said that she had not thrown a baseball in a while, but she had thrown a baseball in the past, and you could tell because she got it over the plate.
So, of course.
Yeah. But yeah, she's an athlete. Of course, she's going to do that, right?
Yeah,
that's right. All right. Any last remarks, Stargate? Great phone call.
Other sports in high school. I'm pretty sure basketball wasn't the only sport.
Well, yeah, they were saying that she's a soccer player too.
Exactly.
So, yeah. So, all right, Stargate. Any last point before I let you go, real quick?
No, that's it, man. I'll be watching some more tempo games, and I like what I see from the young ladies.
It's fun, man. It's refreshing. It's refreshing to see the WNBA in Canada.
Yep, it is, man.
It is. It's awesome. All right, Stargate. Only the best and blessings, and only good outcomes for you too, my man.
Thank you, and same to you and your family.
All right, I appreciate that. Yeah, my folks are still here hanging out with me right now, playing lots of Scrabble with Dad.
Awesome. They're not going too quickly back down to Atlanta, huh?
No, we've had a lot happen this past month, and actually the visit's been extended. It was not supposed to be this long, but we got a lot of different things going, and it's been fun to watch basketball with my dad in the evening. Watch the tempo and the CEBL.
Let me ask you this though, a little bit more personal. Are you guys planning to go back to Estonia anytime soon?
I have no plans to go back to Estonia at this time, but if I eventually go back to Estonia again some point in my life, I'd be very happy if I did. But I don't have any plans to go right now. In fact, going there the one time we did was kind of like a culmination of a life dream. So,
okay.
But if I had to go back to Estonia, I'd go back to Estonia to check it out and hang out there again if I have to. But I hope I don't have to. Yikes. Because that'd be really weird. Like if my grandfather was escaping like fascism from Europe to come to Canada, and there's all weird stuff going on here because of idiots in the United States. It'd be weird if I migrated back to Europe because of stupid stuff on this continent. But I don't ever want that to happen. I'd like to, in some ways,
just to visit, man. Just to visit,
I know, but this is the way I think. Is like I want all my options on the table, and if things go really crazy in some stupid way, I might be hopping the continent.
I see what you're saying.
But I'd rather just stay here and try and be here for Canada. That's like a very much like a plan Z kind of, plan A, plan B, plan C, plan D, that's way down there as far as things. But but either way, it's a beautiful country. I appreciated getting to go there for the first time in my life and checking it out and stuff. But anyway, man, I wish you the best, and we'll catch up again, I'm sure, on the phone very soon.
All right. Take care, man.
All right, Stargate. Only the best for you, my guy. Like I said, I just want all the Raptor freaks to have good outcomes and all kinds of things that they got to deal with right now, for sure.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Yeah, man. All right. Only the best to you and yours. That's right. Let's go. Let's go. All right, cool. We had some calls on the preview show today. That's awesome. Hearing from Stargate and Sheriff Seymour Pate. That's right. Let's see. Seymour saying Boston will take Sengun, Jabari, and Eason picks for Brown. Yeah, we were talking about that. G saying that's actually impressive of Harden to take less money to come back on a team-friendly deal to help. Yeah, we'll see if he actually does it. They're saying he'll do it. He hasn't done it yet. Seymour saying that the Pistons want Kawhi Leonard, the Heat want Giannis, and the Cavs claim they win the series analytically. Yeah, that was goofy stuff. Well, once again, kind of like getting back to the original point of what you called me on, that kind of shenanigans with the physicality and the extra stuff, that the Knicks like to employ, and apparently Wemby whispers in people's ears, well, that's part of the playoffs. And analytics is not going to encapsulate that. It ain't going to encapsulate that. That's right. Smooth saying Donovan Mitchell remains 100% committed to the Cavs. He doesn't want to jump ship and do a snake move and join Cat in New York on the Knicks, like they were saying a couple years ago, that Donovan's just biding his time in Cleveland until he can get to the Knicks. Yeah, I like that. In some ways, I guess he has taken to the Cavs nation and the Cavs franchise and playing for them and putting that jersey on his back. So he's gotten a little bit more taken to it, you know. Seymour saying Davion, Hero, and Ware plus the picks for Giannis is the offer. That doesn't seem like that's enough. Seriously. I mean, man, I don't want to see Giannis switch teams this summer. I really don't, even if Milwaukee's a shit show and his wheels are spinning for the rest of his career. I really don't want to see him leave that team. In some ways, how many picks is there? You're saying plus a pick, just a pick? Man, there's going to have to be 2 first-round picks, if not 3, with Davion Mitchell, Tyler Hero, and Kelly Ware. Yeah, this guy had that. I mean, this is Giannis, man. This is Giannis. Nobody's going to get ripped off like Dallas did for Luka. No. Reggie's saying this. At least OG gets a chance to play in the finals, though. Yeah, I mean, I'm not living my life to help OG. OG's great. OG's always going to be a beloved Raptor, but yeah, I can't get behind that. If the Spurs come back and beat OKC, the Knicks will be winning the chip. Their experience will be too much for San Antonio. OKC, back to back, man. So that's all right. See, that's what I'm saying. I'll go with the safer choice. Go on, SGA. Do what you do. Go on now, Canadian hero. That's right. We need you to be a hero once again. In some ways, maybe SGA has this in mind as a Canadian, a Raptors fan. He's like, man, we can't have Knicks Nation going crazy. No, I have to stop this. Do your Canadian duty, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. That's right. Do your duty. That's right. So he's saying, I really don't mind New York. I like that they're good. I know. Well, some of you guys have allegiances to New York City besides the Raptors. And some of you are former Knicks fans in different times of your life. And that informs part of this. I'm telling you right now, it's not a good thing. Just trust me. You know, the Celtics won the championship a couple years ago, and they were pretty humble about it. The Celtics nation could have been way worse about winning the championship a couple years ago with Brown and Tatum. They were very humble about it. In some ways, the Celtics get that they need to be like that to have sustained success and not get all braggadocio, because the more braggadocio, the more there's possible forces of karma coming back around and messing it up. The Knicks fans don't understand this totally, and they'll go all in on braggadocio. And well, you know, Celtics fans are mature and older, and not older, but understand that, you know, the more you kind of get cocky, the more you have that kind of energy, the more something is going to come get you in the end and smack you back. And that's part of the things. Celtics were humble champions in some ways this recent time. Some of them weren't, but for the most part, Celtics Nation was not so awful. Knicks Nation will not be like this. I'm telling y'all right now. They're built up 50 years. They haven't won a championship. They're going to be such assholes. You guys do not want this. Just trust me. You do not want this. Just trust me. Leafs Nation will be very similar when they win the Stanley Cup again. They will be very similar. In some ways, it's like crazy. They're watching Mitch Marner kick so much ass for Vegas Golden Knights right now. Hometown hero, Mitch Marner, who was run out of Toronto, is getting to the Stanley Cup Finals in his first year after us. Yeah, that says a lot right there of the dysfunction and the screwed upness of the Toronto Maple Leafs. In some ways, that's what I'm saying. As much as think about it, the Leafs won, how they would be acting. In some ways, it'd be happy for the city. Toronto be so happy, but in some ways, you know how that'll affect the Raptors. You know how that'll affect the city as far as people will be saying the hockey is king again. And the Maple Leafs are number one in the city. They always were. It was never the Raptors. You know, the Raptors feel better having the last championship in the city. The other thing about this is that we're putting ancient history on the Raptors championship by putting more Eastern Conference champions, especially from our division, getting chips. You know, the Knicks win. That means the Knicks and the Celtics have both won since we won. And that in some ways is not something we want them bragging about. Seriously. Because in some ways, we can hold this over Knicks Nation still right now. Well, when's the last time y'all won? We won in 2019. When's the last time y'all won? I'm telling y'all, we don't need this. Y'all acting like, oh, I kind of like the Knicks. I kind of like their blue collar mentality. I like OG. No, we don't need this. I'll be a voice of reason in the middle of all this. Nobody should be rooting for New York. Seriously. Nobody that's an Eastern Conference NBA fan. Nobody. Go for the Western Conference team. Seriously. Seriously. Seymour's saying this: if the Thunder use all resources they have properly, I see an easy three-peat next year. Well, they're trying to say our dynasty's dead in the NBA. Well, the Thunder are going to test that. They're going to test that. That's right. They're saying if every team runs it back, Pistons sign and trade Duran and another piece for Kawhi. Lakers also sending a package of Ayton and Reeves for Duran. Man, whatever. This is all speculation. Until this stuff actually happens or it doesn't happen, I'll believe it then. And when I see all this stuff, Kawhi Leonard in Detroit, that's weird, man. That is weird. I don't know if that happens. Fiercely saying this: good morning, fam, and happy game day. Sky lost a big piece this season with Rakea Jackson being injured, but they still have Skylar Diggins, who's explosive on offense, also great vet presence. So you saying we need to watch out for Diggins? That's the thing. I'll ask Cool Cat, Fiercey, and Trevor for a little bit of a scout on ChicagoSky and their opinions on what they think about the game tonight. What are the keys to the path to the victory? Fiercey, for the tempo to beat the Sky tonight. Well, we need to guard the pick and roll much better. We need to have our threes be very good shot selection and taking very quality shots and trying to make very quality shots and shooting very well. That's a very absolute key to the tempo. We need to gang rebound. We need players to all crash the boards, every position, and do their part to take care of helping with the rebound battle so that we can be somewhat even. Or if we beat them in rebounds, holy cow, that'd be great. We need to continue our scrappy defense, full court, where we're bugging people all the way up the court and causing turnovers and getting transition opportunities. Because when we play teams that have centers, they have half court defense. It's harder for us to get scores. I'd love to see Brittany Sykes come back and be more aggressive in this game against Chicago tonight. It seems like Brittany kind of lagged near the end of this stretch of games that ended on Saturday. And maybe with some rest and recuperation, Brittany Sykes can come back with a real aggression like she was showing in the middle of that road trip last week. That would be a nice thing for a key to the path to victory, right? There's a couple of things right there. Fiercely saying this about Camila Cardoza is a reliable and skilled big. Rachel Banham is like Kia Nurse, shoots threes, lights out, and their rookie Gabriela Jaquez, very impressive. Yeah, these are, I know about Banham a bit, her history with the Lynx, and her being kind of a sharpshooter and a tough player. Cardoza is the player they're building around, obviously, since they moved on from Angel Reese this offseason. And Cardoza is a big center and a true center, as Fiercey is saying here. Yeah. Let's see. Tempo needs to be disciplined on the defensive side. Also, please, more than 2 starters in double digits. Yes, this is a great point, MJ, that we need scoring contributions and game-winning kind of play from more tempo players. We can't just have a 2-woman show. We can't have Kiki Rice and ex-tempo players show up and do things for the team and expect to win. We need at least 6 or 7 of y'all to make contributions to win. If we can get 5 of y'all in double digits, that'd be great. If we could get maybe Marina or Brittany with 30 to 40 points and 3 rest of y'all with double digits, that would be great, at least. You know, there needs to be help with the scoring. And it can't just be all Sykes and Mabry. We're going to need some Conde. We're going to need some Yuskeda. We're going to need some Kia Nurse and definitely some Kiki Rice. Yeah, some Tiani Key. Yeah, we're gonna need all of them to contribute for in different ways. That's right. I love this. These are great keys to the game, Fiercey. I really appreciate this. I'm gonna give you a dunk actually for giving me your insights on the Sky, the Chicago Sky. Yep, I get by with a little help from my friends in the scouting report. 81 on the dunk chart for Fiercey. Wow, you're up there. You might actually be the leader right now. You might be. Fiercey saying this: Kaysen Wallace is Kiki Rice's boyfriend. Him winning another chip could fuel her motivation, and she wants to repeat a championship, but this time in the WNBA. Baby steps. It's a brand new expansion franchise. You know, she can be so happy for her man, Kaysen, and what he's doing in the NBA, but she has her own world in the WNBA. You know, it's got to be hard being a couple in basketball, like Adebayo and Wilson, you know, like Wallace and Rice, to juggle your lives and how often you get to see each other. It may be very similar to like Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt back in the day when you're two actors and maybe you're working on different movie sets and you're just jet setting around all over the place because your team is going to different cities like Chicago to play the Sky, but your boyfriend's actually in San Antonio playing in the final Western Conference Finals against the alien Wembanyama. Yeah, it's got to be tough. I wonder how they link up and see each other, how often they see each other, and when they do, and how they do it. You know, is Kaysen coming up to Toronto every once in a while just to hang out? Well, he's still busy right now. But I'll bet when everything's all said and done and he's won his second championship next month, I'll bet you he'll be coming up and traveling around and watching Kiki a lot more closely in her WNBA season. But yeah, this has got to be a tough lifestyle, a tough relationship to have is when two high profile athletes are dating each other. Yeah, I guess that Aja and Bam are kind of setting the standard for people. And this is how you do it. This is how you do it. That's right. That's right. Seymour saying this: Kaysen Wallace dating Kiki let me know to raise my standards, and I now have a shot at Beyonce. Oh, Seymour. Yeah, there you go. Aim high, man. Go for it. You know, who knows? You're gonna go for it. You'll never know. Go all the way. I mean, isn't Jay-Z still in the picture? This is a problem here, right? Isn't you got to compete with Jay-Z if you're interested in Beyonce, right? Seymour saying LeVar Ball went off on Cavs Nation for releasing Lonzo, saying he would have made a difference in the series, maybe one game. Oh my gosh. Man, that Ball family's crazy. They're crazy. They're not teaching their kids right. You should have taught LaMelo how to drive, not how to be arrogant and just believe this stuff. Man, you can't be saying this, LeVar Ball. Your son couldn't even run or walk 2 years ago. The man hasn't really successfully came back to the NBA consistently. Sure, he came back from his injury, but what has he done since he came back from? You can't say this. This is just your own ego. Once again, you are one of the biggest, most egotistical parents of NBA players ever in the history of the NBA. LeVar Ball. He should not be listened to in any kind of way. Does anybody believe this about Lonzo Ball? No, nobody believes this. They would have been better off with who they got, and that was Dennis Schroeder that they had in that spot instead of Lonzo Ball at this point. Dennis Schroeder, proven FIBA MVP, is a much better choice than Lonzo Ball with the ball shoes that fall apart. And yeah, Lonzo Ball wasting the Chicago Bulls time for years. Seriously, this is crazy, man. This is so crazy that he said that, man. This is crazy. Fiercely saying, "Don't be a hater, Seymour." That's funny. Smooth saying the Harden stuff is per Brian Winders. Well, that's interesting. I'll believe it. James is getting older. That clock is ticking. And he's probably thinking, man, this is actually going pretty good in Cleveland. We had some success. We beat the Raptors. And you know what? I would like to stick around here. I'm not upset with anybody here. Daryl Morey is not here. Daryl Morey is not here. I will never play for Daryl Morey again. That's what James said. That's right. I believe this Harden stuff because in some ways he'll take less money to try and help the Cavs, especially if he thinks that they're doing this well. You know, Let's see. Fiercely saying LeVar Ball is the Lulu Schroeder over Lonzo. See, that's what I'm saying. Dennis Schroeder for sure an upgrade over Lonzo Ball in that situation. Trevor's saying the next one the Sixers will give away is VJ Edgecombe. Yeah, I could see that. I could see that. I mean, the McCain thing, I think that the reason why they traded McCain to the Thunder is because of VJ Edgecombe. VJ Edgecombe came in and he was the same position and same kind of stuff and the same around the same age. And like, nah, we like VJ better. Sorry, Jared, you're getting traded to Oklahoma City. Oh, thanks. Great. I'll wait. I might win a championship now. Trevor's saying this Tempo will win the game tonight. Most of their good players are out. There you go. Yeah, if Jaquez is out, Riquet is out, Vandersloot's out, DeJohnny's out. Yeah, those are some important players for the Sky. And maybe, the Tempo will be ready to pounce. Sandy Brondello will have a great game plan against the Chicago Sky tonight, and we'll get evened out record again at 4-4 after a victory over Chicago in Chicago tonight. That's what I want to see. Yeah. Reggie's saying this. I did not know that Fred smoked weed. Yeah, I didn't either. That was a revelation. Like he's not like a big time weed smoker. He's like it's more like just chill, like kind of because when he had Kevin on the podcast, Kevin Durant, Kevin was very open about his cannabis use on there, and Fred let it known that he does partake in that episode. But I didn't really think about Fred in that way. But yeah, if you think about it, cannabis in some ways is getting deregulated and more open in society, and it's not as stigmatized. And in some ways, you can talk about it more openly if you were like somebody who kind of like was a closet smoker and you didn't want anybody to know publicly. But now it's kind of like it's not a big deal. And Fred's the president of the Players Association. Like he's in charge of the players. And yeah, he's just cut down. I think for him, because he had a year off and he's kind of like rehabbing and has a lot of time off, he could have fallen into a chronic and like smoking all the time kind of thing. And that's not good for him and what he's trying to do as an athlete. He didn't want to dull his brain too much, but it's kind of like thing where people want to have drinks or something. If you don't drink and you want to have a cannabis, that's different. But Fred's dialed it back. It may be because he had way more free time this year being hurt, and he didn't like the percentage of time that maybe he was stoned, maybe because he's not doing it anymore. He's not smoking right now at this point. Yeah, that show's awesome, man. Fred's so real, man. And you're so much better without Sarge, Fred. I sent a message to Fred since he talked about hanging out with Adam Silver and talking to him all the time. Because that's the thing. Fred talks to Adam Silver as the president of the Players Association about issues all the time. So I sent a message to Fred saying that they need to audit the people who vote for the postseason awards, that they can't be having jokers like Bill Simmons voting on this anymore. That they need to get more and more people like Vince Carter, Carmelo Anthony, Jamal Crawford, those kind of people that are former players that are on all the networks covering the games, so they're watching the games. They should be the ones voting. Should be former players. And I elaborated on it to Fred, saying that these postseason awards involve money for the players on their contracts, and we can't have idiots like Bill Simmons screwing things up for people because they are homers and they have proclivities to vote for their favorite teams, people, and not very clearly looking at the whole big picture of the whole league. And anybody who's not paying attention to Toronto as a franchise should not be voting for postseason awards. If you are not paying attention to all 30 teams in the NBA, you should not be voting for postseason awards. If there's anything I learned from this recent round of postseason awards and how they went with certain things. So I plead to Fred directly, since he has the phone number of Adam Silver, and maybe he can actually talk about this with him. Because seriously, this is a big deal. And Fred, as the president of Players Association, he has a stake in this because this is players' contract. This is players' money. These are incentives. And we don't need jokers screwing around with people's monies and incentives just because they're homers or this or that. It's a really kind of a messed up system. So who knows? Maybe we'll get some legwork done to change this. Maybe we cut some of the voters out that don't need to be there anymore. That's kind of like, yeah, you don't need to be voting for postseason anymore for the NBA. Nah, we're going to bring in these guys. These guys are way more qualified. They're actually watching all 30 teams, and they're more unbiased in some ways. Sure, some of the former players will have biases towards teams that they played against and that they have against, and teams that they played for that they have for. But I would say overall, the players, because they were in that lifestyle and understood it from that perspective, would have a better idea of who's truly deserving. And that's what I pleaded with Fred, is he's always talking about it. He's like, oh, I was talking to Adam Silver the other day about this in the league and stuff like that. We're always trying to come up with new stuff and new ideas to make the league better. Oh, Fred has got the ear of Commissioner Silver, of course, and he's going to talk to him. So maybe we can get that done, right? That's right. Shooter over ball. Good point. That's right. Who do you want out there? Hold that bill. That's right. Hold that bill. That's right. Let's see. Seymour saying, oh my God, Lex, did you watch the game? He directly told both players. You're probably right. You're probably right. I didn't watch the game. You're right. I'm not qualified to speak on this. Wemby is a capo. Wemby is the Don. He's a Vito Corleone. He said, come into my office, Mason. Yes. Yes, Chet is pissing me off. I want you to make him swim with the fishes. Can you do that for me? Oh, yes, Don Victor. Yes, Don Victor. Yes. Oh, you're a good one, Mason. I love you for it. I really do. Do Marlon Brando on the Raptor Freak podcast. There you go. A little Godfather right there. Yeah, maybe he was saying stuff like that in his ear. Oh, Bismack, come in here. I don't know if that was any good. Y'all, could y'all rate me on my Godfather impersonation? I don't know. Maybe it was really bad. Really, really bad. Kaloy's here. Good morning to Kaloy. And good morning to Trucker Kaz. Good morning, Lex from Raptor Free Crew. Trucker Kaz is here. Let's check in on our fantasy league. Well, there aren't really any games this week so far, but the early leads are for Coach Cool Cat. Trucker Kaz has got a 0.2 lead over Fiercey right now. Holy crap, that's close. 86 points for Kareem Thomas right now in his leading his match. MK's leading his match, and James is beating me right now in my match. That's a check in with the Raptor Freak WNBA Fantasy League right now. That's right. Good stuff. Good stuff. Fiercey's happy to hear Seymour's voice on the phone today. And Kaz is saying 2-finger salute for the Knicks. I don't care if OG's on the team. I'm rooting for the West. Caleb Wilson is a top 5 pick. You think Caleb Wilson's top 5? Oh, wow. So he's not going to be anywhere near us at 19 then. I mean, he does have a great wingspan and he has some nice athleticism. In some ways, he kind of reminds me of Ace Bailey. A little bit like Ace Bailey. Similar kind of skill set and physicality. A little bit like him. That's right. There you go. I love it. Kaz has got a 2-finger salute for the Knicks. I've got a dunk for him. I've got a dunk for Kaz just because he's standing with me in solidarity against the Knicks. 50 for you, Kaz. You got that David Robinson 50. Look at that. Look at that. There you go. Oh, we got Fiercey. Who's calling me now? Let's see who's calling me now. Let's see. This could be for Vinay. Hello, caller. You're on the air.
Hello. This is an important message on behalf of Canadian Tire Bank from DCA.
Okay.
Hello. This
Hi.
is an important message. Hello. This
Hello.
is an important message. Hello. This is an important message on behalf of Canadian Tire Bank from DCA. Please contact us at 877-607-89.
I'll hang up on that. That's a Canadian Tire Bank calling me. Well, why not? Straight goods on Canadian goods. Canadian Tire. It's a great store. Ask Scotty Barnes. In fact, Scotty Barnes made the note that he would like Canadian Tire to have him as an endorser. That's right. Canadian Tire, what are you doing? Call Scotty Barnes. He'll be in your commercial. He said it publicly on Twitch one day. He said, y'all, I go down to Canadian Tire sometimes. They got all this cool shit there, bro. I'd be buying Canadian Tire stuff. That's what Scotty said on Twitch last summer. So Canadian Tire, go get that bag for young Wayne Barnes and say, yeah, you want to be a spokesperson for Canadian Tire, Scotty? You can be the national spokesperson for Canadian Tire. Yeah. So Canadian Tire Bank, they'll call you. They'll call for Vinay. Yeah. It's a segue there. Why not? I'm doing Marlon Brando. I'm taking telemarketers' robot calls. Hello. Yeah, that's what we do here. Scotty Barnes wants to do Canadian Tire commercial. Canadian Tire. He did. He said that. He said that once. He said, I'll do Canadian Tire if they wanted me to. So Subway's doing, you got Subway. Go on then. Get Scott Canadian Tire. What are you doing? Wasting your time. Not getting him. That's right. That's right. Let's go. All right, let's see. Who else we got in the chat? Kaz is saying, not sure if you saw, Alex, the Manitoba Premier, Wab Canoe, calling out Alberta Premier Daniel Smith about the separatism bullshit was gold. Wab is awesome. Wab is great. Wab is like Canada's Mandini. He's just awesome. Yeah, I mean, they're very different premiers. I've heard that the separatist petition failed, that First Nations are getting in the way, and that the real Canadians, the not Benedict Arnold, the not idiots, are standing with Canada, because there's most of Alberta does not want to separate. This is all bullshit. There's a very vocal minority that's making it seem like it's bigger than it is. And in fact, they're stealing the voter rolls and fudging signatures on a petition that nobody actually signed. They just stole everybody's information and put that out. Like, these people all signed for this. No, they didn't. Y'all stole that shit. Dirty ass motherfuckers. But yeah, the premier of Manitoba, I'm very proud of him. That guy is a cool guy. In fact, if he was prime minister of Canada at some point, that'd probably be a good thing. Seriously, Danielle Smith, the opposite. She probably deserves to be in a jail cell. She probably deserves to be excommunicated from being Canadian, honestly. Turncoat, traitor, ass Danielle Smith. Yeah, they're opposites there. Yeah, let's talk a little bit about it, but that's it. Kaloy saying, I want Wab as the next prime minister. Yeah, for sure. This man, honestly, I think that this man can bring us all together. Seriously. And he, I'd be very proud of him being our prime minister. Mark Carney's doing okay, but there's certain things about Mark Carney I don't like environmentally, because he's going to start doing stuff that help big business destroy the natural landscape of Canada in ways that I don't totally agree with. So, he's trying to say we need to do this to build Canada strong. So we got to expedite all kinds of checks and balances for environmentalism. I don't agree with that, Mark Carney. I don't agree with that. But you know what? He's still way better than the other choice we had at that election. That's right. Neil's here. Good to see Neil checking in with the chat. My good friend Blackhawk. Trevor J saying Jaylen Brown challenged Stephen A. Smith because Smith's been talking lots of stuff about him. Man said if Stephen's Stephen B, Stephen C, Stephen C, Stephen B, Stephen A. So he said he's not even ranking A anymore. He's a Stephen B, maybe a Stephen C, maybe a Stephen F. Stephen F. Smith, Stephen F. Smith, F. Smith, F. Stephen, F. Stephen. That's what you say there. Yeah, that's pretty good. I like that. I think that I'll easily pick Jaylen Brown's side if it's between SAS and Jaylen Brown. Yeah, I'll pick him. Yeah, for sure. Trevor J saying, I sent a request to Cleveland Cavaliers to let James Harden go so I can put them on the junior high school team in Florida. What? You want to get James Harden down in Florida to play on a team down there? Okay. You sent a request? Okay. That's interesting. I wonder what they said. Kaloy saying, I still can't get over how the Sixers gave away McCain for nothing. I know. We talked about that a little bit already, and how Jared McCain's coming up big for Oklahoma City right now. It's fantastic. Kaz is voting for Wab for PM also. He's put that down there. That's nice. I like that. Kaloy saying McCain has been so good for Oklahoma City. Yeah. Pretty good. Yeah. Stargate saying Canadian Tire wouldn't get a basketball player to endorse them. They are very, very pro hockey. Maybe that's right. That may be right. You're missing out. You don't want Scotty Barnes to do commercials for Canadian Tire? What is that? Y'all are foolish. You're foolish, Canadian Tire. Just think of all the people you get in the store because of Scotty. Yeah, it makes sense what Stargate's saying there. All right, let me check on my tabs a little bit. All right, y'all. Last night we had CEBL action. There was one game on the slate. It was Montreal Alliance against the Niagara River Lions. And that game happened in Montreal. And, well, the Alliance lost. The Niagara River Lions hasn't started very well this year, the defending champions of the CBL from last year. But they came up big in this one. It was a balanced attack between a few players for them. They had 4 starters in double digits, 18 points for Curtis Hollis, 16 points for Nathan Kao, 17 points for Donald Curry Jr., and 12 points for the captain, Elijah Lufile. So, yeah, they went up above and beyond, and they held Javon Freeman Liberty to only 9 points on 2 of 9 shooting. Yeah, Quincy Guerrier, 16 points for the Alliance in a loss. So, yeah, interesting. Niagara handing a 15-point loss to Montreal. JFL just couldn't get going. They did a really good job containing him. And, well, the game was won by Niagara. So, yeah, that's your CBL check-in from last night with the Alliance losing to the River Lions. There's no game tonight in CBL, but they will be back in action tomorrow night on Thursday. So check out your Canadian Elite Basketball League action on YouTube for free, or CBC Gem. CBC is Plus. Yeah, those are places you can find it. All right, we got to go to the Raptors Redditor of the day, and it is King Lochner 16. And they brought up that they had the Coach of the Year awards come out yesterday. And our guy Darko got 1 third-place vote for Coach of the Year. And they're saying they thought that he would get more. Yeah, I agree with this. You know, Darko really did have a very good year. Like, seriously, it's a big jump in wins. And he got his team to playoffs. And he had to navigate, intertwining Brandon Ingram onto the team. He was able to coach the Canadian team to get 2 All-Stars. And, he did a really good job, I think, building on the first 2 years of rebuild to be a playoff team in his 3rd year. So he got a 3rd place vote, that's it. And in some ways, it sucks that he didn't get more. And it sucks that Joe Mazzulla won. But I'm glad that Darko got a little bit of recognition. I wonder who voted for him. Was it Doug Smith? Maybe Doug Smith voted for Darko as a 3rd place vote. I don't know. Either way, congratulations to Coach Rajakovic for getting a vote in the Coach of the Year competition. I'm sure he'll get more even next year. Hopefully, he'll get more votes for Coach of the Year next year. But yeah, thank you to King Lochner 16. You are the Raptors Redditor of the day for that. That's right. Let's see. Did y'all put any more comments in? It looks like you did. Let me see what else y'all are saying here. Kaz is saying, I really hope Temi isn't the tempo version of Otto Porter, man. $1 million a year for this player. Thank God she's only signed for 1 year. It does strike me a little bit like that right now. But once again, these are the kind of things that happen. In the first year of the Raptors, we had Oliver Miller on our team. And part of the reason why we had Oliver Miller on our team was because his contract was so crazy big, and people thought it was way too much on the Pistons. So he came to our team. And, he was worth the contract for us in the first year of the Raptors because he played really big alongside Damon Stoudemire. And he really worked hard, and he got out there and played for the Raptors. That's why, in some ways, Oliver Miller is a beloved inaugural Raptor, a very beloved one. Now, Temi, you could go 2 ways. You could be like Oliver Miller and be $1 million player for the Raptors. I mean, the Tempo in their first year, and play and do good quality things to earn that money. Or you could be like Olajuwon. You could be like Otto Porter and just collect the check and be injured and sit out. And then next year you go on to another place. I don't know. Either way, we will judge accordingly. We'll just put it that way. So, Fagbenle, it's up to you. What is your Toronto Tempo legacy going to be? You want to get out there, I'm sure, and prove who you are. That's the right answer. That's what I want to see right there. Yeah. Kaz is saying that Donovan Mitchell defending Harden for 3 straight minutes. Like, bro, we don't rate James Harden. He's a bum, and we'll never win a chip. Yeah, I guess he feels the need to do that. In the press conference, Donovan Mitchell standing up for James Harden. I mean, those guys probably did get real tight playing with each other this year. They have a lot in common. And in some ways, they could have a natural friendship and really a natural kind of looking out for each other because they help each other too. Let's not get it twisted. Donovan Mitchell helps James Harden. James Harden helps Donovan Mitchell. So, Donovan's going to help him in the post-game conference by pumping him up and defending him to the press. I'm not surprised by that. They've been doing their interviews together this whole postseason. James and Donovan will sit at the podium together and do their interviews side by side. Yeah. Let's see. Kaloy saying Cavs going nowhere. if you think that the missing piece is a 37-year-old Harden. I know. It is what it is. In some ways, they may have found this fool's gold with the front court pairing of Allen and Mobley to a degree, because there's something wrong with those two guys at the highest level. I'm going to say that right now. That's one of the things I learned from this playoff series, this playoff season. In some ways, yeah, they beat us in 7 games, but if we weren't so green and we didn't not understand the playoffs and spotted them 2 games at the beginning of that 7-game series, we would have beat them in the first round. Emmanuel Quickly's healthy, we would beat them in the first round. We win a couple of games we shouldn't have lost in the regular season and had the 4th seed and they had the 5th seed, we would have beat them in the first round. We might even beat them if Brandon Ingram was able to play all 7 games. Yeah. There's a lot of different outcomes that could have made the Raptors get past the first round. There's a lot of them right there. That's right. Seymour saying Rockford, Illinois, is a tough city, man. A lot of murders happen there outside of Chicago. Fred has to blaze to cope with the reality. That's true. That's true in some ways. He even brought this up. He's talking about the war in Ukraine and about how people should care about it more in the United States, but they're fighting their own fights in their own neighborhoods. Their own neighborhoods could be war zones. He even brought up Rockford being like this on the thing. It's like, yeah, man, I would care about World War III and Iran and Ukraine and things that are happening over there. But man, we got our own battles here in our own cities, and people in the cities and in the United States are just struggling to stay above water financially and just have their lives. Fred even said this on his podcast that I watched yesterday, that he says average people are cooked in the future coming up right now. If you're just an average person, you are cooked with what's coming up. That's what he's saying right now. And he sees it because Fred's like me. We're birds of a feather. We're prognosticators and projectors, not projectors, but we're people that can see trends ahead of time. Like Freddie very clearly said recently that when the Raptors were switching gears from his crew to Scotty Barnes, he felt it all happening before it was actually starting to happen. Like he saw the writing on the wall. And that's the thing. If you're able to see patterns, if you're able to read between the lines and understand things in a little bit of a deeper way, you can be like Fred and I and kind of prognosticate and see things that are kind of what they're happening before they happen because they're developing.